back at their school. The board had just denied Mr. Akiyama from ever doing dissections on frogs in the biology practical class due to all the complaints they had received from parents. Annoyed with the decision, he met with Honda and Aizawa at the hall one time, persuading them to collect signatures from students in order to bring back the dissection part of the practice. Akiyama was sure that Honda's popularity would help change the minds of the students, and even though Honda didn't quite like the dissections as well, teacher. When they got to the classroom, Aizawa stood in front of the class to address the students, and he told them the importance of taking part in the frog dissection. But the class was divided as many students still didn't like the idea. They called on Honda to hear his opinion, and in order not to disappoint Mr. Akiyama, he told them that he was going to take part in the dissection practical, so they all signed the petition to bring back the dissection to show his appreciation. But Honda's frog slipped out from his hands, resulting in a minor accident from their jars, and they leaped around the classroom, causing the students to freak out and run for safety. And then the teacher noticed that Akane was bleeding. However, Akane told everyone to listen closely as Honda began to speak like he had been possessed by a frog, saying that the dissection was a very cruel thing to perform on a bunch of innocent frogs. Touched by his words, Akiyama and his students released the frogs back into the river, and while they were on the field, they collected flowers for a herbarium preparation instead. Akiyama realized that he had been making a mistake all along, as he wanted the students to learn kindness through the art of dissection. But they were able to learn it on their own without harming the frogs. Honda regained consciousness at the clinic, and when school was over he walked back home. But Aizawa decided to follow him around secretly in order to... However, after a few believed that someone was stalking him, even though he was literally the one following him around from the shadows. At the Honda Force headquarters, Aizawa told the others about his suspicions, and they came up with a strategy to catch whoever it was that was actually stalking Honda. So when school was over the next day, they split themselves into two groups, with each one secretly hiding along the routes that lead to Honda's house so that they could trap the culprit on all sides. Fortunately for Aizawa and Kondo, Honda took the road they were covering, so they secretly followed, but Kondo suggested they walk with him instead so as not to be mistaken for the stalkers themselves. However, Aizawa told him that the Honda Force operated from the shadows, but while they were arguing about it, they heard a sound in the bushes and immediately thought that it was the stalker. But just as they were about to attack, Miyoko got out of the bush